Hello and welcome to Coffee Lovers TV. I'm your host, Joseph Robertson. On the show today, I have a fun little special gift. This is a coffee from Brazil, and this is a bit of a special coffee. This isn't something you can find right now, and it comes to me from Blas Alfaro of Silver Cup Coffee. Blas recently visited the Mantiqueira de Minas region of Brazil with a team of cuppers, and they cupped and graded a number of coffees. On the 21st of this month, Sergio Diaz of JC Coffee Farms in Brazil is hosting a cupping of 39, the top 39 rated coffees from that trip. This is one of them. They are all naturals and pulp naturals. So this is going to be a nice. This particular coffee is a natural processed coffee. It's the first natural on the show. Really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Brazil's making some really great stuff right now. My past experience with Brazilian coffees is typically finding a nutty coffee. Brazil often ends up in espresso blends because of this. It provides a nice smooth nuttiness, good, strong, consistent flavor. Lately, and this has been the case with a lot of coffee regions, as the quality of production increases, the quality of coffee is dramatically increasing everywhere. And I've had some really amazing coffees from Brazil, some single origins in the past year or so. I had a coffee last year from Sergio, actually. I remember it, like opening it and smelling the bag was like opening a bag of peanut butter cups. And that's what it was like. It was like chocolate and peanut butter and rich and sweet. And so these coffees can be really special. So we're going to dive into this one. I'm going to take a quick sniff, though, of the bag. I mean, as I'm sitting here, the aroma's wafting at me. And so to go over this is a yellow Bourbon. That is the variety of the coffee, and it's a natural processed from the Mantiqueira de Minas region of Brazil. I hope I pronounced that right. I love smelling this. I was trying to put my finger on what the aroma was like, and I figured it out as I was setting up to film this. Because it's got very strong, sweet aroma, and it's got this nice, like, high spike, which I guess could be kind of like a fruitiness. But what I think of, what came to my mind as I was smelling the coffee, as I was setting up, is it's like smelling like I just whipped up a fresh bowl of brownie batter, you know, like I just whipped up a fresh bowl and you can smell it, and that's the aroma. It's like brownie batter, which is really cool. And there is some good like nuttiness to it as well, which I would, you know, as I said, I would kind of anticipate that from Brazil's. But I can also smell, you know, some like fruit lightness to it as well. I've of course I've had this a few times, and it's a delicious coffee. So let's go ahead and brew it, and then we'll come right back. And we're back. It's quite interesting as I was brewing the coffee, smelling the grounds. After I ground the coffee, that sort of fudge brownie batter aroma kind of went away. Well, it's more like the aroma became a lot more concentrated, and it turned to a lot of nuttiness. And I would have said like ground fresh roasted pecans and cashews or something like that. Like very smooth, but distinctly nutty aroma. That was the ground coffee. While we're waiting for that to cool, I'll read just this little story of Brazil coffees that came with this coffee. This is kind of cool. The first coffee bush in Brazil was planted by Francisco de Melo Parreta in the state of Pará in 1727. Pará. Sure, I'm mispronouncing many things right now. According to legend, the Portuguese were looking for a cut of the coffee market, but could not obtain seeds from bordering French Guiana due to the governor's unwillingness to export the seeds. Parreta was sent to French Guiana on a diplomatic mission to resolve a border dispute. On his way back home, he managed to smuggle the seeds into Brazil by seducing the governor's wife, who secretly gave him a bouquet spiked with seeds. I like that story. All right, shall we dive in? It's very curious, the aroma. This is the thing with natural processed coffees, is that you'll have more of a distinct strong flavor versus more gentle or mellower flavors that, and there are a lot of them. So in a natural process, what happens is the cherries are essentially dried or rotted or fermented off the seed, and so a lot of the seed gets to absorb a lot of more of the goodness of the sugars and the sense of the cherry. And then it usually ends up with a bit of a coating on the outside. Depending on the process, sometimes they wash that away. Okay. I think pouring this out will help a little bit as well. The heat is really blocking my ability to smell, but I get, it's so weird. The aroma of this is like, I'm getting like dirt on the aroma, which is not, let's have a taste. And oh wait, oh. Now it's like floral and a bit fruity. It's subtle in the aroma. Interesting. The first taste when it's hot, the first taste is actually a fair bit of fruit. And this follows kind of along with the, I've been thinking about this coffee as I've been having this a little bit this week. And one of my reactions to it was similar to my ground aroma reaction, which is like pecans, cashews. But in the taste, it was like sweet nuttiness, so like candied nuts. But there's definitely a fair bit of, there's a lot of fruit, and a lot of fruit in this cup right now. Like, cherry, it's good cherry in here. Strong, distinct flavors of cherry. And this is following with my following observation, which I find my most pleasant and most common observation with this coffee. There we go. As it cools, the richness, that's, okay, the syrupy sweetness and the aroma is now really coming out now. And then the taste, syrupy, sweet. I can taste some of that nuttiness. I can even taste I get a hint of like dark chocolate, a little bit. Definitely cherries. It's the strong cherry, sugary sort of, but not like, okay, here's my, it's like nutty pancakes with homemade cherry syrup. Except dial back like the sugar on that quite a bit. It's sweet, but like when we talk about coffee being sweet, it can certainly have varying levels of sweetness. And it can have a surprising amount of sweetness. And this does have a really good amount of sweetness to it, but it's not like super strong sugary sweetness. But this is what I think of. I think of like nutty pancakes with like a homemade cherry syrup on top, because it's got the brightness of the cherry in there, and then real good sweetness and syrupiness and very rich. It's got the rich sugary aroma. When I slurp it like that, I get a lot more of the fruit. Very interesting. Very delicious. So the notes on here, the taste notes are pomegranate, cherry, and jasmine. Obviously, I'm getting the cherry. Actually, when I slurp at it at the end there, I definitely get some of that pomegranate. It's that brightness. There's definitely a brightness in there. There's real good body to this, like syrupy. The jasmine, I'm not so sure. Maybe it's kind of dancing around. There's something else in there, and that could be the jasmine. It's not standing out to me. Perhaps if this were prepared in a Chemex, that would be a little clearer, because there's a lot of syrupy sweetness in this that I think is maybe overshadowing that jasmine. There is a nice lightness to it as well, though. This is a very good coffee. So that's this Brazil, this yellow Bourbon, natural processed from the Mantiqueira de Minas region. I'll try to keep an eye on what happens with this Brazil. Perhaps someone I know will pick it up and roast it, and then we can maybe see what they do with it. That'll be fun to check out. If you have any questions or thoughts, let me know in the comments below. I'm always happy to chat with folks about coffee, and let's keep it going. This is a lot of fun to do. And check out my Cup of Joe. That's my weekly show on Mondays, where I just kind of talk about what I'm doing and coffee and ideas and such. That's a great spot to stay up to date. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.